You good?
Yep.
Well, obviously, coming here again to work with Phil, obviously going back to college and stuff, but what is it about Phil that makes you want to, keep finding him over the summer and having him work with you?
I think just understanding what helps me continue to improve. And I think when you get to this level, a lot of times you see all these guys training and they're charging all these amounts of dollars. And, some of it is, they're doing it because they want to be around NBA players. They want to get that paycheck, and they're giving some guys the same workout over and over, and they're not really invested in guys actually improving. And based on my relationship with Phil in college, we have a real friendship. I care about him like family. He actually is family to me, and I know that he cares about me the same. And it just works out perfect that he's such a great guy to work with on the floor. And he's invested in my career from 2008 to today. So, he cares about how well I do. He cares about how I am personally.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that makes it more productive because of those things. He's investing more into my career. He's watching film and he's coming up with drills and coming up with different ways to challenge me. And, some guys, I think I've reached a level as a professional to where, some guys might not be comfortable challenging me and putting that out there for me every day. And, maybe pushing my buttons or maybe making me mad. He's not afraid of any of those things. And his number one goal is to make me better than I was before I came here. And every time I get with him, it's the same thing. And it's been that way from day one. So I think that's what separates him from a lot of other guys.
Even in 4 or 5 days working with him, do you still, is it at that point such a small sample size, you still get a lot out of it?
It's a small sample size, but it's always good to get back to your foundation. I think a lot of the things that he taught me 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, they were things to build on. And obviously I've improved as a player since then, and I've kind of just built on those things and built on them. And it's kind of like every summer kids go to camp. And it's something that they learned already, but they come back to camp and they build on it. They get better at it from that time to this time. And now it's, okay, instead of doing one jab with the right, now you're going to learn how to jab with the left. And now you're going to jab and shoot. Now you're going to jab and cross. It's kind of like you just building on that foundation. And I come back here, or before he came here, I go meet up with him in Utah, and we'll get back to that foundation and we'll make strides from what we did last summer to the next. And we'll just improve that way, step by step. So the 5 days isn't really a big deal. We come here, we get our work in the morning, then we come back in the afternoon, we do some more stuff. We do that for 7 days actually, and then I'll go back to my trainer in Oakland. We'll do a lot of stuff, and then I'll get back with Phil in Portland, and we'll do it again. And then next month we'll do it again. So it's kind of like it shows how great he really is at what he does, just because he gets it done in a small amount of time, and it has such a great impact. He gets the job done, man.
We've seen him kick guys out of practice and stuff here. I'm sure you have some stories about it, but what is it about his style, I guess, that helps get the best out of you?
Like I said, I think just how much he cares about me as a person and how much he cares about actually helping me get better. He cares about that more than getting along with me and doing the things to appease me or to be on my good side. He doesn't care about that. Phil is interested in one thing, and that's making you better. And you're either going to allow him to do his job and pull it out of you, or you're going to shy away from it and get upset. And I think all that shows is that you don't want it the same way that he does. And it's my career, so he keeps me on edge. I could tell you a million stories about us bumping heads because he jumped on me and I said something back. I'm from Oakland, so I'm gonna have something to say. But he taught me about being coachable in tough moments. I remember when I got to the MVP level in college, he came to me and he said, Dame, just, you coachable as it is, but just promise me that, if you get a little bit frustrated or you get a little bit mad and it's a tough moment and everybody's saying something, just promise me that you'll listen to me and you'll hear me out. And we've always had that kind of relationship, even in a tough moment, whatever's going on, no matter how much noise it is. I had a tough stretch in our season this year where I was struggling, our team was struggling, and a lot of people was trying to say something to me, and I tuned them out. And I got a call from Phil, and that was the conversation that I needed to hear. I think that conversation turned a lot of things around for me mentally, but I think his style also really hit home with me because of where I'm from and the kind of coaches I grew up having, the kind of trainers I grew up having. It was in your face, hard-nosed, blue-collar type stuff, and just being willing to do what other guys won't do. And I think when he presented that challenge to me, it was something that I was accustomed to, something that I was used to being around, except it wasn't coming from a black guy, it was a white guy. So it was like, man, this dude, he understood me, and he had that same fire. So, we've been great.
What about, the Boise State program kind of opening up and letting you come here and do this? And obviously, you've maybe followed the program a little more the last year since he's been there?
Yeah, I mean, well, everywhere Phil's been, I've, kind of naturally just followed him just from following him. And being able to come here and, everybody knows about the blue football field. Last year when I first got here, I wanted to see the field. And I was just like, man, Phil really at Boise State. This is pretty cool. It's a big-time campus, big-time football program over the years. And I knew the impact that he would have on the basketball program with recruiting, with player development. I just knew that he would bring the right kind of stuff in here at this level. But it's much appreciated on my part with them letting us use the gym, get as many workouts as we want, letting us use the swimming pools and the weight room. People staying later, when we want to get extra workouts in. So they don't even know me that well, but they're opening their facilities and using their personal time to accommodate us. So, we all really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
I don't know how well you know Chandler Hutchison, but last summer seeing him work out and then seeing the type of year he had, I assume you said, well, that's Phil. But I mean, what is Hutch a guy if he has another year like this that you could be playing alongside him a year from now?
I mean, you got to give Phil his credit for the passion that he has with helping guys improve. But the player is the player, and when the player wants it, that makes it 10 times as much. When you got a coach like him and you got a player that wants it and wants to work and wants to improve. And I think that's what I've noticed from last summer when we got here. It was kind of like a little bit of disinterest. He could feel the pressure from Phil, and it was more like he was doing it because Phil was getting on him. And then over time, it was like, Phil was telling me, like, he's getting better, watch this game, and then send me a clip of him having a big dunk down the lane. And, I could just see the improvement. I went to the game. They had a game at Oregon. I went down to the game. I saw that game. I saw the NIT game, and I noticed the improvement. And now every day that I've been in here, he's been in here shooting with a boot on. He's on the gun. He's doing shooting. He's getting with Phil. Ball handling. I've seen him more. Last summer I came in and I spoke to the entire team, and I was like, man, this is y'all gym. Like, at my school, we didn't have a practice facility. If I had access to this every day, I would have been using this more than anybody. And y'all let me come in here, and I'm using you guys' facility more than you are. And that was just the truth. And this year, I don't know if I could say the same thing. And I'm in here a lot, but every time that I come, I see him down at the opposite end, shooting and doing all these things that remind me a little bit of when I had my boot on and Phil had me doing ball handling from a chair, shooting on the gun and all those things. So you can definitely see that he's wanting it more than he did when I first came around here.
And I guess final thing, I mean, the team as a whole, though, you mentioned you knew what Phil's impact would be, but did they get to the NIT second round? I mean, do you think that the future of this program kind of is bright?
I think it is bright. Especially with being able to see him play pickup 2 times since I've been here. Guys just look more aggressive. They look more sure. And I thought last year they had some guys with some skills. Guys could shoot, make some plays, but now it seems like, they've grown up a little bit. I think anytime you do something for 1 year and then that second time you do it, you're a little more comfortable, a little more confident. You've learned a lot. You kind of know the ropes. You're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And they all look older than they did last year, which they should. And, it's important to have that growth and development. And I think you can see it. And you got to give credit to their entire coaching staff because, no one coach can go out there and make everybody better. But I think what Phil does bring is that level of urgency. These guys know if practice is at 3 o'clock and you come stumbling in there and you don't look ready, he's going to say something to you. If you come in there not 15, 20 minutes before, getting ready, preparing yourself for practice, he's going to say something. If you ease your way into practice, he's going to say something. So I can tell, because I know Phil so well, I can tell that their urgency when they come in the gym, they're grabbing the ball, doing ball handling. They're getting shots up, they're preparing themselves. And it's certain things that I noticed that their team has been doing that I know it's a Phil Beckner impact type of thing. Even though Coach Leon Rice is a great coach, I see how he is with the team. they got a really good coaching staff, but there's certain things that that I know just from being around Phil and being tight with Phil that's some Phil Beckner stuff, and he's having that impact on the program.
I do have to ask you, your touchdown pass out there on the Blues kind of going viral. I guess you mentioned the football field and stuff. What was that like going out there? And did you think it'd become as big of a deal maybe as it was? We saw Derek Carr, obviously, and you going back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I know D. Carr because I'm a big Raiders fan, being from Oakland, and we was going over there to get in the cold tub. We weren't even going to get on the field, but we walked across the field. They said that it was closed. And on the way back, I saw a football like they was working on field goals, and it got stuck behind the bleachers. So I grabbed it. Me and Tim started playing catch, and they recorded. We did it, and my brother been playing quarterback his whole life, so he kind of had been trying to groom me my whole life to be a quarterback too. But I chose basketball, so I can get on the field a little bit.
And you've thrown a touchdown pass on the Blue now.
I have. A lot of people can't say they've done that.
Perfect, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.